What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. You know what they say, it's only so much a person can truly take before they're at capacity. They have to start returning to sender. That's what we're seeing here in this newest update coming from Donald Trump. He's coming out with a bold statement. You know, he was said to have been waiting until he got into office to seek retribution on all these corrupt rogue figures in justice that have come after him with his legal lawfare, weaponization of our Department of Justice system. But it seems like it's already kicking off. He's already starting as he is now hurling defamation lawsuits at ABC News and ABC News host George Stephanopoulos in this newest update. I'm excited to get into the clip, see exactly what's going on there and what's, caused Donald Trump to jump the gun. Maybe he's just taking too much, blows from the left. These corrupt figures that have come after him, he's just had enough of it. He's, going to start lashing out, and sending the same threats and legal lawfare at them that they're sending at him. So I'm going to get straight to the clip. Not going to do too much talk on the front. And we're going to see exactly what's going on here. And I'll give my thoughts on the back end, guys. Definitely stick around to the end. So guys, get my thoughts on the back end. And also, YouTube, push this video out. Definitely stick around until the end, you guys. But let's get straight into the news. Before we do that, though, make sure you guys hit that like button for me. Also with that subscribe button as we're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. Let's get into it, y'all.
Welcome to America's two-tiered justice system. I'm Doug Tenaple. Welcome to Doug in Exile. I hope you guys will help me get my subscribers up to 490,000. I can't do it without your help. But let's watch this.
Donald Trump is taking on George Stephanopoulos.
E. Jean Carroll, right, nails Trump for defamation. Trump is now pursuing George Stephanopoulos, George Snuffleupagus, never mind, of ABC News.
The former president has filed a defamation lawsuit against the ABC host because of this explosive interview with South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace.
Here's the article at Newsweek. Donald Trump's lawyer hits back at latest legal move. Donald Trump's legal team has urged a judge to reject an attempt by ABC and host George Stephanopoulos to dismiss the defamation lawsuit filed against them by the former president. Alejandro Brito, not burrito, Brito, has asked a Florida court to reject a motion to dismiss from the network in relation to an interview George Stephanopoulos conducted with South Carolina Republican Representative Nancy Mace. That's just to get you up to speed. Trump is suing ABC and Stephanopoulos for falsely suggesting during the interview that a jury found him liable for R-ing former Elle columnist E. Jean Carroll in the 90s. In May 2023, a jury in New York found Trump liable for abusing Carroll and then defaming her character while denying the assault took place. It was all a giant sham, of course. The court ordered him to pay $5 million in damages. The jurors found Trump abused Carroll, not that he R'd her. That's the key thing, because later George Stephanopoulos is going to accuse Trump of R'ing her. In March, Stephanopoulos interviewed Mace, our survivor, on why she supports Trump for the presidency after judges and two separate juries have found him liable for R and for defaming the victim of that R. This is very strange because Trump didn't commit R. The jury didn't agree to it. It was Judge Kaplan who instructed E. Jean Carroll's second court appearance that said he essentially did because of what he did with his hand. It does not qualify as R. And if it does, then Joe Biden's guilty of the same thing with Tara Reade.
Because of this explosive interview with South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace on his Sunday morning show.
You're shaming me for my political choices. I'm asking you a question about why you endorse someone who's been found liable for rape.
So this is what I mean by the two-tier justice system. This is why Trump always feels ripped off, because what he does gets nailed for defamation and R. And then when Stephanopoulos does the exact same thing, probably even much worse than Trump ever said about E. Jean Carroll, Stephanopoulos has said falsely about Trump on a major news network. And he won't get in trouble. That's the two-tiered justice system. That is E. Jean Carroll. If you make one tier and then George Stephanopoulos makes another tier, then boom, no justice for Trump. ABC News sought to have the case thrown out while noting that Judge Lewis Kaplan, this is in the second E. Jean Carroll case, who oversaw the civil trial in New York, has since ruled that Trump has committed R under a broader definition defined in other states. Now, this is completely made up definition. At the time of the trial, New York law defined R as committed using genitalia. Okay, it is what you traditionally think it is. In January of 24, New York expanded its definition. So this is in January of this year, New York changed its definition of R. Why? I wonder why they suddenly made up a new definition right here, January in 2024.
This was a civil judgment over sexual abuse, by the way.
Trump was watching, and now he's suing Stephanopoulos. In a complaint filed Monday, his attorney wrote, the jury expressly found that Trump did not commit.
In his latest court filings, Brito said that the lawsuit filed by Trump is not about the legal definition of R or battery, but relates to the networks and Stephanopoulos' unmistakably untruthful, knowingly false, and defamatory statements as to what the jury in the Carroll civil case determined. And that is true. Quote, as defendants readily admit in their motion and as alleged in the complaint to have been known by Stephanopoulos at the time that he made the defamatory statements, Trump has never been found liable by a jury for R-ing Carroll, as that team is defined under New York's penal code. Of course, they're trying to now take a politicized judge, jury, even dictionary on what definitions are. And by politicized, I mean they mean one thing for Democrats and they will mean something else for Republicans. They'll mean one thing for E. Jean Carroll, another thing for Trump, then they'll flip the definition when it comes down to what George Stephanopoulos did to Trump, which was defamation at the very least for being false about what he said about Trump. And then New York just goes, oh, we've expanded, changed our definition of the R word. In January of this year, right during the E. Jean Carroll case. Okay, I don't see anything here, do you? This is so typical of Democrats. It's so disgusting to me.
So, does Trump have a case? Wayne Dennison is a prominent libel lawyer.
It's going to be a very difficult case for Donald Trump to win.
Despite plainly possessing such knowledge, Stephanopoulos intentionally and maliciously stated more than 10 times during the segment that Trump had been found liable or guilty of multiple juries for the R of Carroll, when in fact the jury specifically held that Carroll did not prove by a preponderance of the evidence that plaintiff R'd Carroll. Stephanopoulos' statement in this regard were false and defamatory. And that's absolutely, I believe, just clear and true. It doesn't mean what Trump did or didn't do. I'm only telling you what the jury did not convict him of. That was it, the R word. They did not convict him of that. That's in the documents. And now Democrats are like, what do words mean? What is a word? What is a definition? What is the R word? I mean, really, what's defamation? What's the price? What's the value of your reputation? How much money is E. Jean Carroll? Is it worth when Trump says something? Let's just scale it all the way up for him. You can see, like, there's no fixed law. There's no fixed judgment. There's no justice where she has the blindfold over her and she can't tell if it's E. Jean Carroll in the courtroom or Trump or George Stephanopoulos because she's been blindfolded. No, they remove the blindfold. They look at what party you are. They look at where you're at as a candidate in the whole thing. And then they make their decision on what a word means. That's what's wrong with the Democrat Party. It's what's wrong with our universities. It's what's wrong with our culture. It's called personal relativism. It's subjectivism about things that ought to be objectively true, especially objective moral truth, ought to be particularly fixed and rigid.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Coming from our friend Doug in Exile. I'll definitely be sure to leave that original video link down in the description box below. For those of you who want to go over there and check that out, also you guys to go over there and show our friend Doug a bit of love. Oh my goodness, guys. Talk about coming back to bite you. I told you guys, Donald Trump is not going to let these folks on the left do what they're doing, coming after him with such, viciousness and a ferocity with this legal lawfare, weaponization of the Department of Justice system. And you don't think he's going to snap back at some point in time? I mean, he's already said this multiple times, when the left's panicked out. Every single time he's came out and said, simply, I'm going to seek retribution. Day one, I've never been, a tyrant. I've never been a dictator. But on day one, there will be a revenge warpath on those who have come after me. There's going to be such a big hit that they will never even think twice to do this against a political opponent again. And that's what we're seeing right here. It's the start of something huge. Donald Trump's road to revenge. We're seeing those cases that come after him, E. Jean Carroll. This is a good comparison right here. We see George Stephanopoulos of ABC News, disrespecting, let's start off there, disrespecting Nancy Mace, and defaming her, going at her character, for supporting Donald Trump. I mean, this guy, George Stephanopoulos, says some very nasty things. I mean, George Steph just doesn't have the best character. We could see it right there. What more do you expect out of someone who is, best friends with the Clintons, Hillary and Bill Clinton? I mean, makes my skin crawl just thinking about that. What this was another one of those intentional optics hits. So Trump and his legal team were spot on to hit them with that defamation suit. George Steph definitely deserved it. And I think they ought to hit ABC News Network also, because they platformed that man and they also probably set him up to it. It was on the agenda for the day. Nancy Mace walked in there ready to, answer and have a good interview one-on-one with this guy George Steph. But you can never walk into ABC News Network and expect that. This is the same place that platforms The View, aka The Spew. I mean, come on, guys. They're low of the low, bottom of the bottom, and now they've got to pay, with him and his legal team filing motions to have that judge dismiss this thing because they're saying that he didn't defame Donald Trump. We all know, he had knowledge that there was no, Donald Trump did not actually get proven guilty by the jury. They didn't come to the conclusion of what he is saying, his narrative that he's trying to push out there on ABC News Network. He knows that by pushing this network, that Donald Trump hurt this lady, E. Jean Carroll. That he'll get a certain image or optic in the American people's view. Whoever's watching ABC, I mean, God help them, but whoever's watching ABC will see that there's a certain spin on that to make Donald Trump look like a nasty person, like he you would really elect someone who has done this, hurt someone in this manner. I feel like that type of abuse is very frowned upon. I mean, all abuse is frowned upon, but I'm just saying that is very scum abuse. And for someone to say that they're going to vote that man in the president after some type of abuse like that, it gets you thinking. And that's exactly what George Steph was trying to do in that clip. Nancy Mace interview, where he is going off trying to paint this picture for his viewer. This is all optics, guys. He doesn't have to be true behind his words. He's saying these lies and painting this picture. He's already got to think Trump's already facing 5 different charade cases. So once they put those cases on him, they're already saying this guy's a criminal. And you're just an average Democrat. You don't do much research on what's going on with Donald Trump, his political cases, or charade cases, I should say. You would be none the wiser to know that this guy George Steph is up there lying, trying to paint this picture that Donald Trump is just some evil man. I mean, come on now. You have to be evil commit that type of abuse, and it just doesn't make sense why George Steph thinks that he should be able to get off scot-free defaming Donald Trump, especially when Donald Trump was ordered to pay tens of millions of dollars to someone who was just simply saying that they lied on me. This is not the truth. Still ordered to pay $81 million. They're going to hit Trump for the Carroll suit. They've got to hit George Steph with the defamation suit. Nancy Mace interview did not go well. George Steph was lying on Donald Trump, defaming this man live on air. And he knew what he was doing. He was trying to paint that picture. This was all for optics, guys. Definitely hop in the comment section though. Let me know your thoughts. Do you guys see this one developing? George Steph, his legal team, are already trying to file a motion to get this one dismissed by the judge. I mean, come on now. There is some defamation inside of this one. Definitely hop in the comment section and let me know if you think Trump and his legal team will be able to prove this one beyond reasonable doubt. Say that George Stephanopoulos has defamed Donald Trump alive in that Nancy Mace interview. Let me know what you guys are thinking on that one. Also, make sure you guys hit that share button and share us out to as many Facebook friends as possible, guys. Share the truth. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button. It doesn't cost one thing. Hit that like button for your boy, and also hit that subscribe button, guys. We're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. I'll catch you guys on the next week.